Hey, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna talk about top 5
best external hard drive enclosure.
Starting at number 5.
DockCase 2.5-inch. If you want the snazziest and most performant 2.5-inch SSD/hard drive enclosure, this is it. DockCase 2.5-inch smart hard drive enclosure has a 1.75-inch LED screen that displays information like the drive capacity, model number, drive health, and partitions. In an improvement over DockCase M.2 enclosure, which has a similar status screen, this one has back, forward and home navigation buttons you can use to toggle between the different menu screens. Like DockCase M.2 enclosure, the SATA one also has 5 or 10-second power loss protection thanks to a small, built-in battery. Considering that this enclosure could be used with either a mechanical hard drive or a 2.5-inch SSD, that extra few seconds after a power outage or an unexpected cable pull could allow the disk to finish writing whatever was in its queue.
Coming at number 4.
DockCase Visual Smart M. The DockCase Visual Smart M.2 enclosure offers a couple of really unique features and a very attractive, premium design. You'll pay a bit more than you would for most other 10 gigabits per second SSD enclosures, but at $49 as of press time, it's not crazy expensive. The first thing you'll notice about the DockCase Visual Smart M.2 is that it has a built-in 1.33-inch LCD screen, something we haven't seen on any other brand of enclosure. The screen displays basic information about your SSD, including its capacity, partitions, free space, battery charge level, and drive health information. You can toggle between different stats by short pressing a selection button on the chassis and you double press to rotate the screen. There's also a small, built-in battery that provides 5 to 10 seconds, depending on which model you get, of service time in the event of a power failure. That brief window of time might be enough to allow the drive to finish writing some data and avoid corrupting your drive in the event of an ill-timed unplugging.
At number 3.
Orico M2V0C4. If you want an SSD enclosure that can connect via a 40 gigabits per second Thunderbolt or USB 4 connection, you can expect to pay more than $100 for the privilege. At press time, Orico's M2V0C4 sat in the middle of the pack, with a price of $134, but for that price you get speedy performance and backward compatibility with USB 3.x ports. Unfortunately, not all USB 4/Thunderbolt enclosures work properly when connected to non-Thunderbolt/USB 4 ports. When we tried plugging the Orico M234C3U4 enclosure, another USB 4 enclosure that costs $20 less, into USB 3.2 Type A and Type C ports, it powered on, but Windows could not actually see the SSD inside. However, the M2V0C4 had no such problems, mounting immediately and flawlessly on 2 different computers over USB 3.2 Gen and USB 3.2 Gen ports. The all-aluminum chassis has ridges to help with heat dissipation, and it comes with both a thermal pad you can put on top of your SSD to keep it cool under prolonged loads. It's a rather attractive silver enclosure that has a small cutout/handle area you can use for threading through a carabiner.
Number 2 of my list.
Sabrent EC-UASP. The market is full of inexpensive 2.5-inch SATA enclosures, but Sabrent's EC-UASP stands out thanks to a couple of unusual features and a nice, but subtle design. The black plastic case easily popped open and snapped closed for us, with no struggling and no tools necessary. The interior has room for a 2.5-inch SSD or hard drive that's either 7.5 or 9 mm thick, the 2 common thicknesses. There are no screws necessary to hold the drive in place. The Sabrent EC-UASP has an on/off switch, something you won't find on most SSD enclosures, but a nice convenience if you want to leave it plugged in but only power it on when you need it. Most 2.5-inch SATA enclosures have USB 3.0 micro B as their output port and come with USB Type A to micro B cables. However, the EC-UASP has a USB 3 Type A port, 5 gigabits per second, and comes with a Type A to Type A cable. So, if you are planning to connect the enclosure to a laptop that has only Type-C ports, You can use a USB Type-A to Type-C cable, something many people have lying around the house, to do so.
And number 1.
Sabrent EC-SNVE. Most M.2 enclosures require screwdrivers to both secure the lid and to hold the drive in place, which is a hassle if you have to install a drive once and a tremendous headache if you plan to do it over and over again. Because of its seamless tool-free design, relatively low price and solid 10 gigabits per second performance, the Sabrent EC-SNVE is the best M.2 SSD enclosure for most people. It also promises to support both SATA and NVMe drives, but we only tested with the latter as those are the much more common type of M.2 SSDs and what we use in our tests. Sabrent's EC-SNVE has the most seamless tool-free design of any enclosure we tested. A button on the side pops the top open, allowing the lid to fold back up to 180 degrees while staying attached to the rest of the gray aluminum chassis. That's better than the pluggable tool-free NVMe enclosure's design, which forces you to slide its cover all the way off where you could potentially lose it or try to put it back on the wrong way. The EC-SNVE also has a built-in thermal pad attached to the inside of the lid so it transfers heat from the SSD to the metal chassis. In our use, it snapped closed really easily and flipped open without requiring a hard button push.
Check out this video description for latest price and more informations. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned.